Nobody who follows the leading of God or divine instruction can lack. 1 Kings 17 verse 1 to 6, Elijah showed up before Ahab. Before God whom I stand, there shall be no rain nor dew. The moment he finished, even him became a victim of the famine, except as divine instruction came. And the Bible said the word of the Lord came to Elijah. Verse 2, the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, verse 3, get thee hence, turn thee eastward, and hide thyself by the brook Cherith, that is before Jordan. Verse 4, and it shall be that thou shalt drink of the brook, and I have commanded ravens to feed thee there. If he didn't follow divine instruction, he too would have died of the famine. So what entrusts you with economic power is divine instruction. Number 3, accessing economic power. Make impact. Kingdom resources gravitate in the direction of those making impact. You will be shocked. There are many people who give to us here. Their uncles are pastors. They don't remember them. Impact compels resources to be trafficked. Anybody who makes impact, people can't hold themselves from giving them. Luke chapter 8 from verse 1 to 3, and Jesus' ministry. It was impact that brought money. Anybody making impact has economic wealth. And it came to pass afterwards that he went through every city and every village, preaching and showing the glad tidings of the kingdom. And the 12 were with him. First dimension of impact. Every city and every village heard his voice. Every city, every village. Verse 2. Quickly. And certain women which had been healed of evil spirits and infirmities, Mary called Magdalene, out of whom went 7 devils. Are you seeing where money is coming from? From impact. Heal them, cast out demons from them. Go to verse 3. And Joanna, the wife of Chusa, Herod's steward, and Susanna, and many others, which ministered unto him of their substance. So they didn't just show up to give him. He cast out demons from them. He healed the sick, healed them of infirmity. They had no choice but to respond with gratitude. He didn't need to ask them for it. And notice, they didn't give him of their leftovers. They gave him of their substance. You can't receive substance from anybody that your life is not impacting. The moment you start making impact, even those who don't know you will bless you. Did you not read about the queen of the south that brought wealth to Solomon? It was the testimony of impact she had. She didn't know the guy from anywhere. Parables, wise sayings. Everybody's living by his principles. Who is this? They don't come empty-handed to impactful people. When you come to a man of impact, you must come with substance. So if you want kingdom wealth and financial power, you need a lot of impact. Even God said in Deuteronomy 8:18, you shall remember the Lord your God. It is him that giveth the power to get wealth, not for pleasure, that to be established his covenant. Anybody making impact accesses the power for wealth. Number 4, faithful stewardship. If you waste God's resources, you won't have it again. 1 Corinthians 4, verse 1 and 2. Faithful stewardship. It said, let a man so account of us as of ministers of Christ and stewards of the mysteries of God. Verse 2. Moreover, it is required of a steward that a man be found faithful. So if you are not faithful in stewardship, the power to get wealth will leave you. Some people, the first time God exposed them to 50 million, they waste it without accountability. Ask my people here. Everything we are doing, if it's kingdom money, you must account for every 1 kobo. You can't just show up and tell me 3 million has finished. How? Give a breakdown. Because I don't want to struggle. It's not my money. I tell them kingdom resources is an entrustment. And it comes from people's sacrifice. It comes from people's faith. It comes from people's worship. It comes from people's blood. When God gives it to you, you must account for it. Look at Jesus. Even when Jesus multiplied bread, that look as if, oh, it's miracles. When they finish, they say, gather every fragment, not every loaf. Gather every fragment. Let nothing be wasted. And they gathered 12 baskets. Why do you think they were accounting for everything? Because if you waste, you will no longer have. Everything God gives you, you account for it so that you can account, you can get more. Luke 16 verse 10 to 12. He said, if you are not faithful in that which is another man's, who will give you yours? If you are not faithful in little, you are not faithful in much, so you can't have much. You want to have much, you must be faithful in little. Some of you are at a level where all you get at the end of the month is 50,000, and you feel 50,000 is nothing. You will never have 10 million if you can't account for the 50,000. Faithful stewardship. And it's not just when you have ministry. Even the salary they pay you, God is checking. How do you spend it? How much go to the kingdom? How much go for reinvestment? How much go for your welfare? How much goes for savings? If you can't manage it, forget about ruling any investment. Power to get wealth. Finally, accessing the power to get wealth, covenant lifestyle. Acts 3:25. It says you are children of the prophets, and therefore you are children of the covenant. And what is the covenant? Genesis 8 verse 20 to 22. Seed time and harvest. Summer and winter, cold and heat shall not cease as long as the earth remaineth. And then you think that's Old Testament reality. 2 Corinthians 9 verse 6 to 8. He that sweat sparingly shall reap sparingly. He that sweat bountifully shall reap bountifully. He said, for if you give not out of necessity or grudgingly, he said God loves you because God loves a cheerful giver. And he said God is able to make all grace abound, that you, always having all sufficiency, may abound in every good work. So a man who doesn't practice the way of the covenant can never have kingdom wealth. I'm showing you. See, this is what, it's not just emotion and excitement. Learn truths and live them. Learn truths and live them. You can sit under an anointed atmosphere prophesying over you, but you will be poor for 30 years because you are not paying the necessary requirements to be able to be entrusted with kingdom finance. I'm telling you why many prayer warriors are poor. I'm telling you why many evangelists are poor. They have spiritual power, but they don't have financial power. If you want to have holistic victory, you must know what principle applies to what. What controls finance is different from what controls healing. You may know what controls healing and die of poverty. You may know what controls finance and die of sickness. For you to have holistic victory, you must know what rule what. That's what gives you absolute dominion. And then you have relational power. I studied the life of David, and I discovered it was not just the anointing that made David king. It was Jonathan that made David king. First Samuel 18 verse 1 to 4. After David destroyed Goliath, David gave a speech, and immediately the Bible said Jonathan removed his robe, gave to David, and bowed down and worshiped him. Saul came and insulted him. He's about to take your throne, and Jonathan endorsed it. When Saul wanted to kill David, Jonathan was the one that taught him the secret of escape. David would have died. So there are certain relationships that if you don't have and manage well, you may be anointed, but you will not have impact and you will not succeed. So relationship is a vital ingredient of power. And for you to be able to regulate relationship, there is a power that controls it. That's why I quoted for you from 2 Chronicles. 1 Chronicles 12:22. The Bible said daily men joined themselves to David until his host became like the host of God. There is a power that controls relationship. When you see people gathering around somebody, there's something he has. And there is something he's using to nurture that thing that he possesses. People don't have time. Oh. If people have time for you, there's a power in your life. And that power demands certain consecration for it to be sustained. How do you sustain relational power? Which is very vital in your rising. Number one, wise comportment. 1 Samuel 18 verse 14 to 16. The Bible said David behaved himself wisely before the king. And so the king became afraid of him. They said, but the whole of Israel submitted to David. You can't live anyhow and expect to command the admiration of people. People have standards. People have moral values. They admire you to the degree that you align to standards and moral values. You live carelessly, nobody can associate with you. That's why even people that people associate with, when they violate moral codes, people leave them. And you find them angry that those who are loyal to you in your hard time. Or that hard time is different from scandal and ridicule. Don't live carelessly and expect people to endorse you in evil. You see them using all kinds of manipulation, but I gave you food. Moral values are superior to food. If you violate them, men will desert you. You want to command relational power, then you must comport yourself wisely. Live your life according to value systems. Number 2, how to sustain relational power. Genuine love for people and not what they have to give. The moment people discover that you are a parasite, you will irritate them. Anybody who can sustain relationship is somebody who loves people genuinely. John 21 verse 15 to 16. Jesus came to Peter and said, Simon, lovest thou me more than this? He said, Lord, you know I do. He said, keep my sheep, my lamb. Simon, lovest thou me more than this? Lord, you know I do. Keep my lamb. 3 times. The 3rd time, lovest thou me more than this? Say, yes, you know. He said, keep my sheep. No relationship thrives except as love is proven. There are people who only call you when they have needs. The moment you see their call, there's no food at home. The moment you see their call, they need school fees. The moment you see their call, they need small cash. If they do it once, twice, thrice, the next time they call, you block them. It's not your fault. Everybody hates parasites. It's a wicked disposition. And so if you want to build the power for relationship, you must be selfless and sacrificial. Only sacrificial people can sustain relationship and purpose-driven relationships. John 15:13, Jesus said, no greater love than this that a man can show to his friend, that he gives his life for his friend. Jesus is teaching us that meaningful relationship thrives. See, make sure you show genuine love. Don't be with people because of what they can give you. It's wickedness. And that's why many are not sustaining. Every 4 months they have a new friend. You will never see them with somebody that have been with them for 10 years. And they are accusing everybody. It's because their heart is wicked. They only use people. They don't love people. Anybody who discovers you are using him will depart from you. Number 3, how do you build relational power? Is by sustaining integrity. Ephesians 4:25. Proverbs 25:19. If you are somebody who is not consistent, you'll say one today, say another one tomorrow, people will become careful of you. Because they want to defend you. While they are in the heat of the battle, you will now call them aside and say, I'm sorry, that thing I said is not like that. Really? And you allowed us to get to this level. They will never stand with you again. You want to build relationships that matter? Be honest, be truthful, have integrity. See, it's better to tell people the truth, let them leave you, than to keep them with a lie. The day they discover it, they will not only leave you, they will hate you. I'm telling you why many don't have support from men. Number 4, how do you sustain relationships? Through respect and honor. Philippians 2 verse 3 and 4. The Bible said to esteem others more than yourself. If you don't genuinely honor people, even those who are under you, honor them. Every human being commands respect. If you treat people like rags, a day will come, they will say, you are not my God. They will walk away. Show people respect. They are not slaves. They are not slaves. Let them know that they are worthy of honor. The Bible said, in 1 Peter 2:17 say, honor all men. There's a place for rebuke, there's a place for correction, there's a place for chastisement, but they must know that you honor them. That's how you build lasting relationship. And if you find anybody who has that power, he knows these things. Honor. Number 5, how do you build relational power? Is through humility. Again, Philippians 2 verse 3, Proverbs 13 verse 10. The Bible said every strife comes from pride. Everywhere there is contention, the Bible says pride is at the root of it. Every contention has pride as its root. And so if there will be peace, then there will be humility for that to happen. You need relationships. I was telling them in the pastor's training yesterday, when Jesus died and he needed to be buried, none of the apostles who were praying could help. The Bible said it was a secret disciple that had the power to help. There are those who talk to God, there are those who talk to the government. If you only have those who talk to God, you'll be in trouble. Jesus wouldn't have had a tomb to be buried, except as those who talk to governors showed up and say, don't worry, we will give him a grave that nobody has ever been buried in. That's the kind of power they have. And Jesus could sustain such relationships. Why do you think you'll find him from time to time? He was in the house of Pharisees, tax collectors, whining and drinking. And then some of these fake prophets will come and say, imagine, he's dining with tax collectors. How can a prophet eat with tax collectors? Be joking. If you don't know how to build other type of relationship, you will be in trouble. There are some programs you want to do, they will tell you on the day of the program, we won't give you the hall and we won't allow the program. You need one call. At every point in your life, on every corridor that matters, you should be able to make 2 phone calls that can create change. Benny Hinn told a story. He needed to pay $10 million and he didn't have cash anywhere. And he had, I think, 48 hours to pay the money. As if that was not enough, Reinhard Bonnke showed up and told him, I have a crusade in Nigeria and God told me to come to you that you will give me $1 million. Benny Hinn laughed and said, wait, all I have now is 300,000. Reinhard Bonnke said, give me the money and you will have your $10 million. Benny Hinn said, I'm about to be disgraced from the TV station. This is all I have. He said, God said, give me. And you know, these are men of God. He knew the guy was not lying. God said, you should give me. Benny Hinn now and signed the check and gave Reinhard Bonnke. The Lord bless you. And he left. Benny Hinn prayed. 24 hours to go. Shame was by the corner. And he remembered there's a man called Ora Roberts. They have been friends for 20 years. Sometimes his wife goes to cook for Ora Roberts. That's why I spoke about respect. And he called Ora Roberts. I have problem. I need 10 million. What do I do? Ora Roberts say, I'm coming. I have that power. So me, I can raise money. You have relationship. And Ora Roberts showed up. And Benny Hinn flew him down. Went to the studio. They did a program. He was thinking Ora Roberts will start quoting, give, it shall be given unto you. The liberal soul shall be made fat. Ora Roberts didn't say anything. When he finished teaching and preaching, as he was rounding up, he said, Benny Hinn is in trouble. Help him. And left. Benny Hinn was so angry. I flew you down here. I'm going to give you an honorarium. Is this all you came to say? Ora Roberts said, that's enough. And he left. 6 hours later, some Arabs began to call. Not Christian, Arabs. And when they call, we heard Benny Hinn has problem. Send us the account. They will send 1 million. Send 300,000. So usually Benny Hinn taught his people, when people give, pray for them. They wanted to pray. They said, we don't need your prayer. Just tell him to keep wearing his white suit. It wasn't Christians that gave the money. Arab moguls. Because the wealth of the Gentiles shall be transferred to the kingdom. But how did it happen? It was not through Benny Hinn. It was through Orokpo. See, there are some people that don't have money, but they can make you rich. There are some people that are not governors, but they can make you governors. And so if you will be a governor, if you will be wealthy, you need to know how to sustain them. Some speak in tongues, some give money, others give connection. If you think church is only about prayer warriors, you are joking. Reinhard Bonnke came to Nigeria for crusade. Guess who gave him money? He was in the hotel. There was a knock on the door. Door open. Who was there? General Sani Abacha. And gave him money. Ghana must go. Pay for your crusade. He was not going to attend. But there is a power. See, there are many types of power. Don't neglect anyone. Me, I love this type of power. There is a power you have that governors will look for you. That's why I said the Gentiles shall come to thy light. Kings shall come to the brightness of thy rising. Thank God for prayer warriors. But we need kings. We need Gentiles. We need businessmen. He said you shall suck the breast of kings. He said strangers shall stand to build thy wall. It's a power. Go and read your Bible. Do you know when David was compared to God? It was not when he was praying. It was when men came. Daily. 1 Chronicles 12:22. Men joined themselves to David until his host became like the host of God. There are certain men that if God add them to your life will change. I read about T.D. Jakes. Mighty preacher. Preaching many years, sweating. Nothing happened. Until one man heard his message and said, who is this? Fly him here. And they flew him on a private jet. The moment he landed, the man told him, tomorrow your message will be on TBN. That was how his ministry changed. One man, one man, one man. See, there's a power that provokes connectivity. That was what Joseph had. He was in prison. Nobody cared. You see, until the time that his word came. The word of the Lord tried him. The king sent for to lose it. Some of you kings will look for you this week. A seed. We have prayed for you. You know what God will do? It will cause the lines to fall for you in pleasant places. Somebody will hear about that business and move you by 10 years. I prophesy over you the power for honorable connection. Let it rest upon you now. Somebody was sharing a testimony with me last Sunday. They have been laboring in their real estate for like 2 years now. Even me, I supported them with money. Lo and behold, after a powerful service like this, his spirit was charged, made the prophetic declaration, and left. Somebody he helped more than 5 years ago when he was in prison. He was wrongly accused, thrown into the prison. When he gained justice to him for himself, he left, but he said, I won't leave this person. And he helped the person. The person left the country. Suddenly, the person remembered him. Guess what the person sent to him? He couldn't even send it through bank. So he sent it through crypto. 500 million. You don't know what connection can do. Connection. If you meet the right people. Now, I prophesy over you. Everybody that needs to enter your life to change your story. Your steps are network now. Yeah. told you my story. When we were about to start this ministry, there was no savings anywhere. Ezine is my accountant. She knows. She opened all our accounts. No cover from anywhere. In fact, the first $1,000 there, she sent it. Because I preached somewhere, she heard it. She couldn't sleep and sent $1,000. Open the account. Even that one, God told me to sow it as a seed. 2 weeks to the meeting. Doomsin had a meeting in Lagos, the outpouring. I almost missed my flight. I went to support a brother in Calabar. And all the flight, I missed them. I booked 4 flights, I didn't get one. The last one I booked was in Akwa Ibom. I had to fly a boat that morning. When I got there, the plane was airborne. We couldn't catch the flight. I said to my brother, I can't make it. While they were talking, a man heard that Apostle Mike is not coming. He said, what do you mean? It's the reason I'm part of this program. Now, give me 10 minutes. People have power. You know what the guy did? He chartered a private jet to pick me to Lagos. I landed in Lagos. I was to talk for 10 minutes. Somebody chartered a private jet to carry me. When I landed in the meeting, it was almost my session. I rushed to the altar. Manda forwa. And as I stood on the altar, I heard Exodus 3 verse 13. Tell them, I am that I am have sent you. And I began to unlock I am that I am. When I finished, a woman who sat there heard it. Are there still preachers like this on earth? On the day of my inauguration, she called me to Family Worship Center. Come and bless us. And when I showed up, I spoke. They gave me 14 million. Even the venue that we are using, Lawrence Oyo came to town. He needed somewhere to do his battle axe retreat. And I said, okay, let me drive you to a place. We entered an RCCG church to beg a pastor to give him his place to use. When the pastor saw me, he stood up. What? He said, miracles are real. I've looked for you for 2 years. Now God brought you to my office. The first thing that happened was that they gave them that hall immediately for the battle axe retreat. Then the hall we were using was the hall they used before. He called the manager, followed up, and we got that hall at an alarmingly reduced rate. Do you know what connection can do? It's only God that makes men. But one of the channels God uses men. Can you lift your hands? It's time for baptism. Oh, baby,